So I've had a few people asking me recently about how I make my videos on GoPros and how I get those videos out so quickly. So I thought I'd throw a little video together showing a bunch of my tips on how to do that, and basically the steps that I take in order to get a video out nice and quick. Now, one thing to remember about GoPros, they're a fantastic little video device, but their most important feature is not actually the hardware, it's in the software itself. Now, the first thing to remember is if you don't do something with your footage straight away, then it will just exist on your camera, and the longer it sits on your camera, the less likely you're going to do anything about it. So my number one tip is to do something with your content straight away. Even in the moment. That's a great thing about the GoPros is you can do it all on the mobile. You can do all this editing and throw together a very nifty little video just on your mobile before you've even left whatever it is that you're doing. So the first thing before you start shooting is whatever you're doing for the day, have a little bit of a think about what the story is, what's the interesting part of it, and then try to construct the whole day around that. If you don't tell your audience what you're doing, then it's all just a bunch of random videos all thrown together, and there's not really much in that. You've got to tell the story. Just a couple of points during the day, just stop and tell the audience what's happening. Even if it just kind of says, oh, we're planning to do this, now we've done this.
Where are we going?
The golf course.
Like any movie, there's that the 3-act definition of setup, conflict, and resolution. It's really basic, but you've got to have something to tell the audience. Now, let's get into some more detail. One of my first recommendations when it comes to shooting is shoot really, really quick, short little bursts. Now, these are just anything that's going to set up your day, but short, like really short. 3 to 5 seconds max. Now you do have an option on the back of the camera. You can select like 15 and 30 second breaks, which just essentially makes it so that it forces you to shoot short. The idea is that you're just grabbing a whole bunch of little bits and pieces. Now, for example, if you're getting in the car to go to somewhere, you might shoot 5 or 6 really short 3-second videos that just kind of set up that thing, like just sets the scene of that you're going somewhere. So you're telling the audience, oh, we're getting in the car and we're going somewhere. Oh, where are we going? Right? But it's just, and you can do little B-rolls out the window, little bits of changing gears and people laughing in the back seat, all that sort of stuff. But just like really, really short, like 3 seconds. And that's pretty much, you're gonna do that all day. And then there are moments where you stop and you record like a minute or so of what you're doing. Or even if you can limit that to like half a minute at the most, just sort of going, oh, this is what we're planning, this is what we're doing, and etc.
How about we get a different perspective?
What?
But in between then you want to you're basically filling the day with just short little snippets of film. And there's 2 reasons why that's important. One is that you're not making a boring film. If you just have the same shot just cut into a whole bunch of different ways, that's going to be boring. But the second thing too is that your mobile will be able to easily process short little videos rather than trying to download 15 minutes of just the one thing happening over and over. Another recommendation is battery packs. I've actually got 2 of these and I've got about 7 batteries altogether. But this is really, really important. GoPros chew through a lot of power, particularly if you're shooting in higher resolutions. You need as many batteries as you can. So grab one of these and have at least, I tend to go through like 2, 3, 4 batteries in a day. If we're out for the day or we're going somewhere with the kids, etc., I'll easily chew through about 4 batteries. Have them all charged up, number them. I actually have a number on each one. And so, because during the day, you don't know what one's got what batteries in it. So I've got them all numbered, and then as you use them, go up through the numbers, right? So start with your lowest number and then go, as you're using them, go up through the numbers. So then you're always just grabbing the next number so you know where you're up to. You're not putting a dead battery back in the camera again. Trying to find the next battery that's got some power in it. Now, my next recommendation, this is a little meta because I'm filming the film with the camera I'm filming. But a little tripod, and now this is the shorty. You can hold it in your hand as it's really easy. You can kind of show what's in the background. Now I'm being very elaborate with this one. I've got the microphone and everything on there as well. Now you don't need that. In fact, most of the time I carry the microphone with me, but then I don't end up using it because it kind of, I just don't need to. The microphones on the GoPro are actually really good. Certainly good enough to be able to just talk to the camera. It's only because I'm vlogging that I've got that one on there, because I think it does make a difference. But for your little family short videos, it's not really, I don't think it's worth it. It gets in the way more than the value that it returns. But the actual tripod itself, now the great thing about this is you can plonk it on the ground, so these nice stable shots look really good, and they're also really good when you're sort of walking along, plonk it on the ground and then walk past it. All those little setup shots that make it really easy. So that's good, and then it just throw it together and you can hold it in your hand nice and easy. Now the other thing I love about the Shorty is that it is by definition, by name, but it is quite short, which means it's really easy to throw in your pocket. If you're jumping on the plane, you want to grab a couple of shots as you jump on the plane, and then you can just drop it into your pocket, and it's really, it's quite small and easy to handle. All right, now let's have a look at the camera itself. So as far as settings, I usually run 24 frames per second because, one, it gives a nice cinematic look, but also it uses a lot less space and also a lot less batteries. It'll default to like 60 frames per second. I would just recommend changing it to 24 because it looks nice, but also mainly for the batteries and getting that longevity out of the camera. You want it to last all day. Now, the app itself. So one thing I recommend is connect to your camera. Once you've turned on once you've got wireless turned on in the camera, I recommend connecting to it, not through the GoPro app, but actually connecting to the Wi-Fi first. I find that it's always more successful. I don't know why, but it just seems to connect more successfully then. If you've recorded a whole bunch of short videos during the day, then that's nice and easy. You can just go through and grab all of them without really thinking about it. But if you've grabbed long videos like this, which I just did a minute ago, if you don't need the whole thing, what you should do is scroll through, find the bits that you want, and then just cut that bit, right? You hit next, download the app, and that basically will just save that 15 seconds down to your phone rather than saving the whole thing. The reason why that's better is then you're just dealing with short videos rather than dealing with these big video files. So then what you end up with is you go back to your catalog and you end up with a whole bunch of short videos. So this is stuff that I've sort of done out on the bike. I've ended up a whole bunch of 15-second videos, and see what I've got there is I've got a bunch of 15-second videos, and then I've got a 2-minute video. So that's the one where I'm actually talking about something. So then I can throw all those together. Now you end up with just a whole bunch of short videos there instead of one big long video. Now another little tip here is if you're going to go out and record a whole bunch of short videos, then you can turn on, if you go to quick stories and then you've got auto mode, you flick that on, and what it will do is the phone will automatically connect to your camera and download all the footage as you're shooting, which just makes that when you get a moment to then throw your video together, you can do it really quickly because then everything's already there, everything's already downloaded to your phone. If you then have to wait for it to download, it'll take a while, right? So that's, if you're going to be out shooting quick little stories, I recommend doing that. If you're going to shoot long videos and then find all the little bits in it, don't turn that on, because then it'll end up downloading the big videos, and then that's a pain. So once you have your videos downloaded here, the app will automatically throw together these little stories like that, which are good. So you can just tap on that, it opens it up in Quik, and then you've got it'll start to compile the video already. The whole point is that it is quick. Like, it literally throws together a short video, and it just makes it nice and easy. One thing I will point out though is if you're doing it for YouTube or Facebook, use Cinema. If you're doing it for Instagram, then use Square. So that obviously just makes it easier. The other thing too with Quik itself, I'm just going to save that and go into settings. There's this save in 1080. If you don't flick that, it'll save it in 720, which is okay, but if you watch it on a big screen at home, it's 720 is not very good. So even in 10, I'd love it if it exported in 4K or 2.7, but it doesn't. So but 1080 is a must. So you definitely need to make sure you flick that. Don't flick the other one, save videos in 60 frames per second. You want it saving in 24, so it has that nice cinematic look. The other thing I recommend with this, if you can, use your own music. So when you go to music here, all this music that's loaded in here is good music, and it sounds really good, works fine for Facebook. But if you upload it to YouTube, you will cop a copyright. So I always load my own music in there, and you can just go to My Music, and then you can and then just hit Music Library, and you can load up your own music into that. So that's just another little tip if you're planning to post to YouTube. All right, let's quickly look at the editing. So I'm just going to select a bunch of videos here. This is when I took my car for a drive. And just select a bunch, then hit the Quik button. It opens up. I'm going to go create new project. So it will default to something, and it has a lot of these sort of random templates, which are okay, but I find I always end up just going back to that default one. Oh my God, that music is terrible. I'm going to go back to cinema. So the first thing I do is look at the video and sort of see what's coming out of it. I hate that music. Let's just pick a different music. So what it does is it does time to the music, so it all kind of matches. The main things I usually change is I just look for anything that's crap and doesn't really tell the story, and I get rid of it. Apart from that, I also tend to highlight a lot. So if you go through and you find the bit that's best, like I think the rev counter moves just there, so I want that. So I'm going to highlight that. So then when it's playing the video, it'll make sure that bit's in it. And if it doesn't, you can always trim it. You can trim it down, find the bit that you want. They're the basics that I use, and then you can turn the volume up if you need. Apart from that, everything else is pretty straightforward. But they're the main things that I change. So like here, like nothing happened, right? The car's not there. Well, that's boring. So trim, find the bit, so you can see where there's the bit I want. Grab it from there. You don't need to see me walking back out of the car to grab the camera. And so then that's it. So and then basically then all you do is hit save, and so it's really, really basic, and you can easily do that when anytime. So anyway, that's it. It's just some really basic functionality. I hope that touched on a few things, and then you can, once you've saved the video into your photos, you can of course upload it to wherever you want to upload it to, so that you can watch it on the TV, in 12 months time and go, oh, remember when we did that. The main thing to remember is that if you do that and process your video on the day while you're still in the moment, then you'll end up with something that you'll use. The longer, as I said before, the longer it sits on the camera, the less likely you're going to do anything about it. All my Bali videos are still sitting on my hard drive, 4 years later. So when we went to New Zealand, we made a video every day just of the stuff we did that day, and so we go back and we look at it all the time, because it's like we've captured it. And I did something with it straight away. Capture bits and pieces. Don't let it get in the way if you're having fun, of course. Just capture 4 or 5 videos, 4 or 5 seconds long, for each little thing that you do, and then that's it. Put it away, and then before you've gone home for the day, just allow the GoPro app to throw together a little video. Just make the tweaks that you need to make and save it, and then job done. Anyway, I hope that helped. If you've got any suggestions or any questions, drop them in the comments, etc. Give us a like if you can. That'll be appreciated. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.